Hello, it's Bud. This lesson is titled 2G and 3G Build a Pattern, Part 3. In Part 2, we were heavy on Pattern Editor, and we're going to see if we can look at that just a little bit differently in some respects. I still needed to do some things in Pattern Editor, but we're going to deal with it, okay? Here is what I did in Pattern Editor where I have no star. That was an empty field, an empty space within the deal. So let's work on the top arc. I am not good at using the Smart Spline tool. I'll let that explanation to Michael and to Joe and the gang at LHR. I just can't chew gum and walk at the same time. I guess I'll have to work on it, but I'm not going to embarrass myself here. Let's look at the top arc. I drew using connected lines, arcs, whatever I want to use, to outline this top arc. And then I applied puffing, a bubble, and I wanted a flat top, so I came over all the way, and I decided on a height of 0.94. It's going to come up 0.5 to start with. That's fine because you can pare it down after you look at it on your drawing. But that's what I've got, so let's unhide that. And now what we see, whoops, didn't need that. Now you see that that arc pops out. Okay. So now let's look at the star. I outlined the star, and I made it a carve area, depth of 250, and it is a negative merge. Let's see if we can see that. I can't bring it down to where you can see that, but it is a negative merge. That's what that is right there. Then I copied that basically even before I assigned the carve area. And I'm naming each one of these things so I have my sanity. So if I unhide that, I see that that brings it basically higher in the, or it appears lower, but now it's got a background, but before it had no background. So it's carved 250 deep at this point, and it is a negative merge. Okay. Then I went to my star, copy, and I named it Star Puff, and I selected the puffing tool, and I used the bevel, so I have no choice on variety. I have to take it where it is. It's a 500, and I accept that. And if I unhide that, we see that we have a star with the bevel going to each point. And since these are squared, it's just a different bevel there. And I will do the same thing to the ribbons on the bottom. But again, for sanity, what I would do is highlight all of this, make it a group, highlight the group as well, and make it a pattern. In my badge folder, and I'm just going to call it a badge right now. Make sure I don't have that anyplace else. Okay, so I can throw that away, and I can go to Pattern, Library, and I can go to Badge, and I can pick up that AA badge and bring it in here, presuming, you know, I've got everything I want, the way I want it. So now, let's go get the state of Texas, and put it in here. I can't see it. There, I've reversed it, and it's there. I can size it first here, I guess, and place it. Right now it's flat. It's going to 50. Let's see if I make it 100. Okay. So I'm not encroaching on my star as much. Okay. So now if I make that additive, it just wraps into the star. So it's up to me what I want. Whether I want it additive or not. Go normal here so you can see. See, there's normal. Just a plateau. Or if I go additive, I give it a little more character in the respect that it follows the contour of the star. And I'll be back in a minute. The other thing the client wanted was he wanted all these bumpy areas gone. He wanted that to be a void. He just felt that he couldn't paint or stain it the way he wanted it. So he just wanted those empty. So I doctored that as well. We won't go into that. That was a long, drawn-out process, basically in Pattern Editor, the way I did it. But I made a couple test cards. He had been wanting to make test cards, but he was just basically looking at the pictures on the MPC and deciding what else he wanted to change. So I'm not sure how much test carving he did. I know he did one. He had fuzz, and that was probably because of the speed and the wood he used. But I did a couple test carves and sent him those photos to prove that there is no fuzz in the pattern when I finished. So here is a look at a couple of those photos, and as you see, the stars raised. I've got a pattern with nothing on it, then I've got a pattern with Texas on it. I like those well enough that they're now, or will be very shortly, in the pattern depot. From that standpoint, there is no text on these two, for the simple reason that whoever is carving them will put the text on they want in that respect. Here's another view so you can see a little better angle of the star and how the ribbons stand out in that respect. And basically, that's kind of a makeup for what I did do or didn't do in part 2. I didn't show you how to use all the tools. I showed you what tools I applied. And as you see I go along, I save the patterns because then I can use that pattern as the base for my next operation. Yes, I could have done everything on the first one, but I'm not that confident yet, so I would rather make many patterns and be able to come back to any point and go from there. So I hope you enjoyed the lessons. That's probably all for this series of building a pattern. Talk to you later.